The purpose of this presentation is to provide some guidance on a part of the literature review in social science research that is seldom discussed, which is the question of organization, and is key in efficiently completing research throughout all its phases and in writing about the research that you plan or that you have completed. So I'm going to start with file storage. And file storage is a problem that most people have. And when I'm talking about file storage in this case, I mean full text. I mean, generally speaking, PDF files. So if you just personally were to go into whatever repository you use for storing your work, I hope that what you don't find is things randomly scattered across the desktop, files named really interesting work on disproportionality and widely cited 2022 culturally responsive, etc. I hope that you don't find 4 different folders called My Project Work. I hope that you don't find 6 different documents called Research Proposal, Research Proposal 2, Research Proposal Sampson. And that's all that is in the heading for the document. Draft 1, Draft 2. So again, I'm going to focus on your literature and I'm going to suggest some things. And these are practices I use. The purpose here is for you to recognize that you have to adopt some practices you have to develop a system. So the way that I organize my work is largely in Dropbox. I have multiple Dropboxes, and within my Dropboxes, I have folders that I specifically name for studies that I am working. So the Dropbox folder that you see in the upper right corner of this is for a program that had its own Dropbox account called the PERC program and AIEPPP. I use a lot of acronyms, and they're all things that I can understand what they are. So AIEPPP is Assessment in Education, Principles, Policies, and Practice. It's a journal, and this folder is devoted to things that I used in writing a journal article for AIEPPP. So I have subfolders in there. The one at the top is articles. Second one is figures, papers, drafts, and the submission documents. So one thing is that I have a lot of drafts and I keep them in a drafts folder, or sometimes I'll call it an older folder. And then I keep a working folder of whatever draft I'm working on. And then when I start to close out things, I'll have a final submission or a submission folder or something like that. So there's kind of also a time. There's a topic in my folders, and there's some reference in my folder system to what's active. So then at the bottom, you're looking inside the articles folder. And you can see that the naming of them varies a little bit, but it varies actually. It looks visibly like it varies a lot, but mostly what it always does, is it includes it starts with the name of the first author and it has the year of publication. And that means that if I'm looking in my own draft for something and I'm reading my draft and I come across a citation, I'm rereading my draft for the 40th time, and I come across a citation to Clark, I can search my drive for Clark. And I can search my drive for Clark 2012, and I will pull up the Clark paper. So I don't want to be searching my drive for, okay, I happen to know that Black and William paper, that's that 1998 paper on feedback. Oh no, I'm on formative assessment. If I had that paper named important, groundbreaking formative assessment, or just formative assessment 1998, formative assessment 1998. And I read along in a paper and it said Black and William. And I thought, I'm going to find that paper. I need to look what's in it. I could never find it if I had named that document formative assessment. So your naming convention, searchability, and this is also something you can communicate to other people that you're working with. So the literature subfolder. Now I'm going to ask at various junctures in this show for you to stop and do things on your own. So here, first thing that I want you to do is take a screenshot of a current electronic paper space that includes folders and papers, and that's your before. And then I want you to stop a little bit. I want you to clean up your files, create a hierarchy of folders, use some naming conventions that will work, that will allow for searchability for you. Another thing to think about is, how do you even remember your system? Some people write a README document. I'm terrible about README documents. They don't work. Some people in their annotated bibliography will put in links. So my RA does that very well. And it's very helpful, especially with something like Dropbox, or if you use Google Drive, to have links to Google Drive papers. That's extremely helpful, and you may be doing that already. I mostly rely on having a good hierarchy and a good organizational system. The main problem with that is redundancy, is that I have lots of copies of the same paper in different folders. So anyway, so once you've got your cleaned up, take a screenshot, and that's your after picture. Now I'm going on to the next topic of this video, which is about your referencing and particularly organizing your referencing. So one of the most annoying things that I ever do, and I do it a lot, is I have to go and look up a paper 5 times on Google Scholar and retrieve the citation over and over and over again because I don't have it stored anywhere. So what you really want to do is use some kind of reference software available at Hunter College that will store your citations. If you go to Hunter Libraries and you look under, I think it's under resources for citation management tools, something like that, you'll find that that there are a lot of different things. I use RefWorks, and I try to use it for everything. I kind of go up and down in that. Sometimes I will do all my references for a single paper in RefWorks, and sometimes I kind of forget to do it entirely. But if I would like you to try out RefWorks, so you need to create an account if you don't already have one, and then you're going to create within the account a folder. And I would say that you want to have a folder just like in your desk space. You would want to designate your folders. I would do it by a topic. or a kind of expected product, like journal submission to AIEPPP, or the name of a course in your cases, as long as it's intelligible to you, as long as you remember what it means. I'm not sure that I would do that too much because you're going to move beyond the courses, but something that will be useful to you so that it reminds you of why are you looking in that folder at all. So this is kind of a home page on RefWorks, and just so that you can kind of see where I go from. So right now there's nothing in the not in folder, and there are no other folders. Not in folder is where if you import something, a reference, and you don't place it anywhere, then it will by default go to not in folder. A couple of things is that I'm far from being an expert with RefWorks. I use it for the things I want to use it for. It had a lot of capabilities, including it can be integrated with Microsoft Word to provide in-text citations. There's a lot it can do. And you could get from the library a much longer orientation. There are also some fairly extensive orientations available on YouTube and elsewhere on the internet. So, so I'm going to suggest, I already suggested, but I don't have a screenshot of that you add a folder. So here you would go down to add folder, and you would create a folder of what you wanted. So then you are going to start adding references. And I'm going to ask you to add references from a few different places. So the first place is to add a reference from Google Scholar. So find a paper that fits your needs on Google Scholar. Something maybe that you're already using in your proposal, and find it on Google Scholar, go to the cite thing. Maybe you're used to just copying and pasting APA. Maybe you already do that, which is fine. But you note at the bottom right, one of the blue buttons is RefWorks. If you click that, it will directly import the citation to RefWorks. And you will have an option when it's importing to choose what folder it goes into. If you don't choose the right folder, then you can always choose a folder later. So click there. You should be importing your paper into RefWorks. I also want you to try adding a reference from a journal website. So this is a paper yet again on formative assessment, and down these links to how to export a citation show up all different places on journal websites. It's not consistent, so you kind of have to search around. This one, export citation, showed up under tools. So so I went to tools. I just dug around here until I figured out that it went to tools, and then I chose export citation, and that brought me right into automatic export to RefWorks. It gives a list of how do you want to export it, and RefWorks is one of them. And then it would just go automatically into RefWorks. And if you're doing this along, or if you're going to pause and do it later, you should see that it will work. I hope. If it isn't working, then you probably just need to poke around some more and get it to work. And this is one where you are adding a reference from the library database. I'm at the Hunter College Library Academic Search Complete database. I just have decided to look for this Brookhart article that is in the Journal of Educational Measurement, and I found it. And then this is a pretty consistent format, as is the Google format, where you can see how to export. It's under Tools over there to the right. So it was a Tools. It was just a hard to find Tools on the journal website. and it's just on the same place with the citation and APA format on Google Scholar. And here it's an export option. If you click on that export, you'll find a variety of formats to export. One of them will be like a direct export to RefWorks, which is what you want. And when you hit that, you should, if you have RefWorks open, you should go straight onto a RefWorks screen, and it'll say that it's importing the citation. So as it's importing the citation, it will bring up a folder like this. I have created 3 folders, and then there's always the not in folder. And it's useful to tell it what folder you want it to go to. If you want it to go to more than this, you can check more than one, or you can create a folder right at this moment. So you choose what folder you want, and then you tell it to import. If you don't, as I said, if you don't initially save a folder, then you can go, so the paper at the bottom, Sarah Bonner, 2013, was just in, not in a folder. And I want to assign it to Bonner Pubs and to Validity Conceptual. So there's a bar at the top of the RefWorks page that says assign to pill folder. I pull that down, I get the folders that I want to assign it to. You can check multiples, and that's done. So I want you to do this. I want you to put some papers within a folder in RefWorks or in some other preferred reference tool, and take a screenshot. If you already have a RefWorks account that's in great shape, you can just, show evidence that you have it. That's fine. Okay, so one of the things about RefWorks, but basically what RefWorks does for me is it provides an organizational structure for my citations such that I can retrieve my citations into a bibliography easily and quickly. And so the way you do that is you open up your folder, whatever folder you're interested in, and I believe that actually there's one of the choices here is that you can just get a bibliography of everything that you have. I wouldn't see the advantage of that, but I believe you can. But in this case, I've opened up the Bonner Pubs folder, and what I want to create is a bibliography of papers that I've written. I would never really do this. I just did this for this presentation. So at the top, you see create a bibliography. And then it will ask you what format you want it in, and you want an APA 7. So you just ask it for APA 7, and it will pull up this reference list. There it is. It's in a matter of seconds. Now you want to check this very carefully, because there are some glitches they're not exactly glitches in RefWorks. Some of them are glitches in RefWorks, and some of them are glitches from the way that things were put into RefWorks. So, okay, so I'm going to start just by walking through a couple of these. So the first reference you see, let's go ahead and start there, is a book chapter. In the Sagehand, not the entirety, it's a book chapter. So you should know a book chapter in APA 7 and APA other volumes, other editions, should have the editor, and it doesn't. So this is a problem. It also has 2 commas after the name of the book, which is a little odd, and shouldn't be there. So those things need to be fixed. So how do you fix that and what happened? Okay, so this is what happened. The error was that when it brought in the reference, it brought it in as a journal article. And in a journal article, there's a blank for editors. It also, if you go back here, there's some version of this where it actually reports the full publisher, Sage Thousand Oaks, California. But we're not going to worry about that, except to note that the publisher of a book should, yes, no, we do want to note that. The publisher of a book should be, I mean, this is just the wrong format for a book. The pages of a chapter go after the title of the book, which goes after the editor, and pages go in parentheses, and then you get the publisher. And the publisher in APA 7 is not written out like that. It does not include a state, and this would just be Sage. So to fix these things. So we're going to fix it to, first of all, it's a section of a book. We've put in editors, James Macmillan, and I've changed the publisher to Sage from Sage Thousand Oaks CA dot. And now that what will pop up in the reference list is the correct citation. And notice all these lovely parentheses and periods that they've put around it. It knows how to format the information. It's just you have to give it the information because it didn't get the information from the source from which you originally downloaded it. And that's simply because the source didn't provide it. So this isn't really RefWorks' fault. It's that the source didn't have all the information available. And so RefWorks did its best to recognize what it was getting. And you have to fill in its blanks. Now, the good thing is that now that we have informed RefWorks that this is actually a book chapter, that this is the editor and this is the correct publisher, we don't have to do it again. This is now stable in that citation. So sometimes you need to fix a citation within RefWorks. The other times, unfortunately, there is a glitch. And the glitch that I found in RefWorks, which is really annoying, and everyone says, oh no, this is just a thing in RefWorks, is that it doesn't recognize proper nouns in titles. So if you have the word Africa in a title, it's going to refuse to capitalize it unless it's the first letter of the title. The multi-state bar exam is the name of a test, and RefWorks doesn't capitalize it. And there is nothing to be done about that, except when you have put this bibliography at the end of your document, you have to manually fix it. You can't fix it in RefWorks. I don't know of any other glitches like that. But this is one that, and so sometimes using RefWorks does not alleviate you of the obligation to check your reference list in your written document carefully. It just means it just gets rid of a lot of human error, and it's a really good organizational system. There's some other options in RefWorks. So like if I highlight this paper D'Agostino and then go over to edit up in the upper right where there's that pencil, that will open up this screen that starts with the journal article, which you saw before. And there's this odd little lightning bolt. So what does that lightning bolt mean? Is that it means that it will, if you click on it, it will retrieve other information. And I don't actually have, I think if there's a DOI, it may go to the DOI. And bring up new information from the file. I'm not really sure how it finds the other, and it goes back and it looks for information beyond the source that you of the origin, beyond the source where you got this reference. And so, for instance, you can bring in an abstract. And that is the thing that I have seen get populated most by clicking on that light bulb. Another thing is that you won't get it by clicking on the lightning bolt, but you can manually electronically add the file. I don't add files because I find it burdensome and I just keep them in my own system, but you can add them here. So your job is to create a bibliography using RefWorks. You can do it from those 3 papers that you imported the citations from the 3 different sources. Do it from as many sources as you want and take a snapshot of it. So that's what I have to say. Until next time.